So, Venser versus Koth. So I was going to do a video for this. I'm doing a video for this. I got a little over 28 minutes to get it done, huh? With my capacity for rambling, this ought to be interesting. Hopefully I don't have to chop this video up and edit and blah 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 blah. So without further ado, Venser versus Koth. We've got a blue-white deck and a mono-red deck. Obviously, as you can tell, I've already opened the package up. Okay, that's not quite the way I wanted to dump them out, but that's alright. That gets the job done. So, now as far as you know, your money for your value for money, I mean, you're getting 2 Planeswalker cards, which in and of themselves is Koth and Venser. You know, they're both really good cards and have a lot of fun usage, a lot of good casual usage. But let's try and talk more about the decks. I mean, in my opinion, the value for money is there. Whether you agree or not, that's totally on you. And there's some really, really nice stuff in here overall. Let's see about putting all this stuff down here. Okay, wow, yeah, there's a lot of crap here. Hold on. Yeah, I'm so used to putting out, throwing down draft decks and doing those. I'm like, wait, this is a 60-card deck. Alrighty. Oh, geez, alright, this is going to take a little bit of going over, isn't it? More than I anticipated, really. Yeah, what was this? Okay, okay, this looks like a little bit of a mess, so I'm going to try and go through it real quickly, try and hit the finer points. Alright, Venser's deck is really designed to be a tricky deck. This is a deck you really need to go over once or twice before you play it. I'm not sure how the 2 decks match up against each other. I haven't played them against each other. I've heard that the Koth deck can stomp the Venser deck, but I'm not sure if that's consistent. And that may really seriously be a side effect of the fact that the Venser deck requires more familiarity to play. I mean, Venser himself, you know, he's 5 mana, 3 white and a blue. Starts with 3 loyalty counters. Add 2 loyalty counters. Exile permanent you control. I'm sorry, permanent you own. Return to battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. All well and good. So obviously, you know, it works with anything that comes into play, leaves playability, you know. Neg 1, creatures are unblockable this turn. Neg 8, you get an emblem, which they have is that still sitting here? No. Moved it off to the side somewhere, didn't I? I don't know. No, it's in the stack of lands. There it is. You get an emblem. Each deck also comes with a fun, happy emblem for their Planeswalker. Yay. The Venser emblem gives you, whenever you cast a spell, exile target permanent. That's pretty saucy. Of course, on the other hand, you have to get him up to 8 counters. He only starts with 3, and I don't think there's anything in this deck that proliferates. If there was some proliferating stuff in here, that would be pretty awesome, but there ain't. But there's all sorts of fun, happy, tricksy stuff in here. I mean, we've got an Augury Isle. It's a 1/1 flyer for a colorless and a blue. Hits the board, scry 3. We've got a pair of Preordained, so good that they are banned in every format except for Type 1. Yeah, scry 2, then draw a card. Yeah. All sorts of fun, happy stuff. Where can we go with this? There's just so much. Wow. Sawtooth Loon, originally from Plane Shift. Took me a second. A lot of times when I say Plane Shift, I will accidentally say Planar Chaos. I don't mean to, but it happens. It has the gating mechanic in it. Basically, there were a lot of creatures in Plane Shift that were two-colored, and when they hit play, you had to return a creature of one of its colors to your hand. And we got the Sawtooth Loon, which is a 2/2 flyer for 4 mana. Also has this fun thing: when it enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on the bottom of your library. That's interesting. So he's deck manipulation and he's bounce, so he's got some nice stuff in it. We got the Miss Meadow Witch. She's another kind of a bouncer. You pump. She's a 1 colorless and a white or a blue for a 1/1. 2 colorless and a white and a blue. Exile target creature. Return that creature to battlefield under owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So there's more bounce. Cash Raiders. 3 and double blue for a 4/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, return a permanent you control to owner's hand. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Minamo Sightbender. He's a colorless and a blue for a 1/2 X tap. Target creature with power X or less is unblockable. So there's an unblockable. Venser has the ability to make things unblockable. We have 2 Sith Striders. It's a 1/1. Whenever it becomes blocked, you may draw a card. Well, no, it's not a may, it's just a draw. Yeah. So whenever it becomes blocked, draw a card. When it deals combat damage to a player, it gets a +1/+1 counter. So I could see people just letting these things swing home, make them unblockable a couple times, swing in, build some counters up on it, and then just not make them unblockable and serve and hope maybe you'll draw a card and kill a creature. You don't know, maybe. Pair of Scroll Thieves. Not sure what set these were originally printed in. I want to say one of the M series, or maybe in Zendikar block. I'm not 100% certain. I'd have to look it up. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. It's a 1/3. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not bad. But the Coral Fighters. Calls it a blue for a 1/1. If he attacks and isn't blocked, you can look at the top card of defending player's library. You may put that card on the bottom of their library. So there's more fun deck manipulation stuff there. Cryptic Analyst. This guy is wacky. He's 3 and a blue for a 1/4. When he hits the board, scry 1, then scry 2, then scry 3. Yeah! There's some funk going on there. Oh, Clone. Incredibly versatile card. He also works great with anything that removes him from battlefield. Oh, there's something better on the field? I'll remove him, bring him back, clone that instead. Clone is also infamous for its ability to nuke legends. Primal Plasma, it's a reprint from Planar Chaos. Yeah, definitely Planar Chaos. Originally it was a chaos-shifted version of Primordial Clay. It's pretty much the same as Primordial Clay, except this is 3 and a blue to cast, and Primordial Clay was 4, and an artifact creature. This is a straight-up creature. Hits the board, you choose for either it to be a 3/3, a 2/2 with flying, or a 1/6 with defender. Oh, well and good. Oh, we got our good friend the Nurok Invisimancer. It's unblockable. It's a 2/1 for a colorless and double blue. When it hits the board, target creature is unblockable till end of turn. That's fun stuff. What else we got here? Steel of the Godhead. Something we don't have a lot of in here. It's a buff. As long as enchanted creature it's white, it gets +1/+1 in lifelink. As long as it's blue, it gets +1/+1 unblockable. Because that's what a lot of those blue guys in here that like get really good when they're not blocked, right? What do we got here? Oh, Windreaver. I don't remember what set that's from. Off the top of my head, I don't remember even seeing it before this set, which makes me think it's originally either from Cold Snap or somewhere in a Lara block. I can't tell you one way or the other. It's 3 a white and a blue for a 1/3 flyer. Pump white to give it vigilance. Pump white to give it +1. +0/+1. You can pump blue to swap its power toughness. You can pump blue to return it to owner's hand. So it can do funk. It can do funk. Wall of Denial. It's a cute little blocker. 3 mana for 0/8 flying defender shroud. So yeah, the thing's going to be difficult to get through. Sky Spirit. I wonder if that was originally from either Mirage or Visions. I can't remember which. That's been out of print a long, long time. It's a 1 white and a blue for a 2/2 flying first striker. Let's get some fun. Vanish into Memory. If I recall correctly, this was the first and only. Alright, check this out. A long time back, I don't know if they do it anymore. I don't think they do. Wizards used to have this little You Make the Card competition where I want to say it was like every couple weeks or every month there would be a vote on what they were going to do to design a new card going into one of the upcoming sets. You know, they start at some point, voting on, say for example, first week they might choose to vote on, say like the first vote might be for color, and the second vote might be for whether it's an instant sorcery, creature, what have you, right? Then there'd be votes for power toughness, etc. Special an array of special abilities you could give it, blah 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 blah. And it was all decided more or less democratically on the Wizards website. This was the only one in that series where it was user submitted art and then designed top down from there, So that's kind of interesting. But here it is. It's Vanish into Memory, 2 a white and a blue. It's an instant. Exile target creature. Draw cards equal to its power. At the beginning of your next upkeep, return that creature to battlefield under owner's control. If you do, discard cards equal to its toughness. So there's some weird stuff there. What else I got here? A pair of overrides. Originally from the last part of Ravnica block. Dissension. Had to stop and think about that one. X, white, blue, instant, counter spell unless its controller pays X, you gain X life. All well and good. Angelic Shield, here's an interesting one. It's an enchantment for white and blue. Creatures you control get +0/+1. Sacrifice to return target creature to owner's hand. All well and good. Path to Exile. Now here's a fun one. I think that's a new illustration for it. Yeah, because the original illustration had like this white cat warrior thing doing blah 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 blah. Honestly, this is the first Path to Exile I own. I didn't get a lot of Alara block, so yeah, Path to Exile, so I don't have much of. That's the only one I got. You've seen it right there, folks. It's a really solid card, though. A single white instant exile creature. Its controller searches for a basic land, puts it on the battlefield, tapped, shuffles. It's, in my opinion, it's a pretty worthy successor to Swords to Plowshares. In some ways better, in some ways worse. Your opponent gaining life is rarely a big deal, with so Swords to Plowshares exiling the creature and making the controller gain life equal to its power. A lot of people didn't really care about your opponent's life gain that much, because it's like, no, getting rid of that creature is more important. And for the most part it was. Though, in the case of Path to Exile, you're converting a creature into a tempo gain for your opponent. Yeah. So, I mean, on the other hand, if you're desperate, you can turn one of your own creatures into a tempo gain. Or even a mana fix. It's like, why haven't I drawn an island yet? You, get out of here, fetch me an island. It happens. Sphinx of Uthun, or we sometimes call him Sphinx of Factor Fiction. He's very similar to the card Factor Fiction. He's a 5/6 flyer for 5 and double blue. When he hits the battlefield, reveal the top 5 of your library. Opponent separates them into 2 piles. Put one into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Yay! A Sigil of Sleep. This is a fun one. This is from Urza's block. I used this one myself in a blue-green fairy deck that I've had for ages. Whenever an enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, return target creature that player controls to owner's hand. Well, it's target deals damage to target player, not target opponent, but whatever. The point being is, when enchanted creature damages a player, return to owner's hand target creature that player controls. This is funky. This is just funky. Revoke Existence. Nukes an artifact or exiles an artifact or enchantment. If there was liquid metal coating shenanigans going on, you could take out creatures with that too, right? Oblivion Ring. Beautiful little removal card. Does shenanigans. We all know it and love it. Safe Passage. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to you and creatures you control this turn. That's actually surprisingly good because you can take out opponent creatures. That doesn't say they don't do damage. Jetis Dragoons. It's a 2/5 vigilance. Hits the board, gain 4 life. It's kind of high on the mana curve. It's 5 and a white. However, and this is a great big however, with all the bounce in this deck, you can get a lot of life off of this thing. Sunblast Angel, it's a 4/5 flyer for 6 mana, hits the board, nuke all the tapped creatures. Yay. Core Cartographer, 2/2, hits the board, tutor up a plains, put it into play, tap, shuffle. All well and good. Gale Powder Mage, when he attacks, exile another target creature, return the creature to battlefield under owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. It's another thing that does shenanigans with bouncing things in and out of play. The White Mane Lion hits the board, return a creature you control to owner's hand. All well and good. Now, another thing I want to say right here is we've got the mana base on this deck. We've got some islands, we've got some plains, all well and good. We've got an Azorius Chancery. Yeah, there we go. I can speak English, I really can. It's one of the guild lands from Ravnica block. This one being blue-white. It's from Dissension. It's the Azorius one. Hits the board tapped. When it comes to play, bounce a land. All well and good. It's not a bad card. Floodplain, originally from, I want to say Mirage. Hits the board tapped. You tap and sack it to tutor up a plains or an island. New Benalia. This is an interesting one. Comes into play tapped, hits the board, scry 1. Oh, pretty nice. 2 Sajiri Refuges, hits the board tapped, provides a white or blue. When it hits the board, gain a life. And a Soaring Sea Cliff, hits the board tapped, taps for blue. When it hits the board, target creature gains flying till end of turn. So we've got a nice selection of non-basic lands in this deck too, which honestly kind of surprised me. Like I said, as far as looking over the Venser deck is concerned, though, the big thing is this is really a deck you need to look over once or twice before you play it, because otherwise you're going to be lost. You really are. And looking over, I'd say probably the big weakness of the deck is it doesn't have any real mana acceleration. I look at it and the deck could really use a couple of cards to grant it some mana acceleration. I mean, it has draw card effects, it has some counter spell effects, it has all sorts of bouncing shenanigans, but it really needs some mana fixing, in my opinion. Acceleration really, not so much fixing. But maybe that's just my opinion, I don't know. Now let's try to get Koth's deck out. Koth's deck, I was really actually kind of disappointed in the lands in Koth's deck because they're all mountains. Now mind you, it's a mono red deck, so that's not such a bad thing. But you know, you wish that they would, you know, found the space to squeeze in like a Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, or some other non-basic land that primarily is geared towards red. Even heavens forbid it, oh, I don't know, Kerkeep. Kerkeep would have been nice, you know? For those that don't know, it's a non-basic land. I believe it taps for colorless, and you can put some mana into it and tap it and make 0/1 Cobalt tokens. Yeah. But, so we've got our good buddy Koth of the Hammer here, all nice and pretty, illustration, new illustration, foil, blah blah blah. 2 in double red, comes in with 3 counters. You add 1 counter to him to untap a mountain, and that mountain is now a 4/4 red elemental in addition to everything else until end of turn. Remove 2 counters, add red to your mana pool for each mountain you control. Remove 5 counters, you get an emblem that makes all mountains you control able to tap for 1 point of damage to target creature or player. That's actually really saucy. We got all sorts of fun, happy stuff in here. Some stuff that I'm really a little bit surprised to see. Some not so much. Some I'm just really happy to see. And I will say, some of the things I see in here do make me smile a bit. Okay, let's see if I can't get started talking on this. Some of the we have a few cards with landfall abilities. They're reprints from Zendikar block, which isn't all that long ago. And I got like 6 minutes. I'm going to try and make this fast. You know, we got a 4/4 that gains flying on landfall, a 2/2 that deals 1 damage target player on landfall, plated geopedes, which are 2 plated geopedes with no art, mind you. It's a 1/1 first striker that gets +2/+2 in landfall. That's just outright incredible. It's a great weenie. Anger. Anger's another fun one. New art as well. He's a 2/2 incarnation, 3 in a red, haste. If he's in your graveyard, you control a mountain. Creatures you control have haste. The only problem I see with him really is you need a discard outlet for him to be truly heavily viable, because otherwise he's just not, you know? Oh, what else we got here? Pair of Fiery Hellhounds. 2/2 Fire Breather for colorless and double red. Pygmy Pyrosaur. 1/1 Fire Breather that can't block. A Volshock Sorcerer. That's kind of cute. There's a lot of Volshock in here. There's a Volshock Sorcerer, and a Volshock Morningstar, and a Volshock Battle Gear. Lots of Volshock. Very nice. Oh, and here's a Volshock Berserker. Yay. Here's something interesting. It's an Ether Membrane. It's a 0/5 Defender, Reach. Whenever it blocks a creature, turn that creature to owner's hand at end of combat. That both works as defense against the Venser deck, but also plays right into the way the Venser deck works. Bouncing stuff. So yeah, that's kind of wacky. Stone Giant. It's a 3/4 who... you tap him to give target creature with toughness equal to or less than his power flying till end of turn. Destroy that creature at the beginning of the next end step. So there's another way to get rid of anger. You know, throw anger at your face. That works on so many levels, though, don't it? Torchling, he's a cute little card. He's basically a red version of Morphling. Not quite as good as Morphling, but he's nice. Chartooth Cougar. It's a 4/4 with fire breathing and mountain cycling. You pay 2 colorless, you pitch it, and you search for a mountain, and it goes to your hand. All well and good. We've got the Lithophage. He's a 5 mana for 7/7, so that's pretty cheap. But at the beginning of your upkeep, you sacrifice it unless you sacrifice a mountain. Yeah. Then we got an Earth Servant. He's a 4/4 that gets a +0/+1 for each mountain you hit control. A Greater Stone Spirit. This is a wacky one. 4 and double red for a 4/4. Can't be blocked by flyers. Pump 2 colors and a red into it, and target creature gets +0/+2 till end of turn, and that creature gains fire breathing. Basically, it's you pump 2 colors and a red until end of turn. Target creature gains the equivalent of the Stone Hands enchantment from Ice Age. I want to say that guy is a reprint from Cold Snap. I didn't get a lot of Cold Snap, sadly. We got a Bloodfire Colossus and a Bloodfire Kavu. 2 double red, 6 double red, 2/2, 6/6. Pump red, sack it for. This is 2 damage to each creature. He's 6 to all creatures and players. Yay! We've got a Searing Blaze. It's 1 to target creature and player, or 3 to each on landfall. We've got Volley of Boulders, which is actually a really crappy card. 8 and a red for a sorcerer that deals 6 damage divided as you choose amongst a number of target creatures or players, with a flashback of like 6 red mana. Downhill Charge, may sack a mountain instead of paying its casting cost. Target creature gets +X/+0 till end of turn, where X is the number of mountains you control. Nice. 2 Seismic Strikes, deals damage to target creature equal to the number of mountains you control. For 2 mana more, you also have a single Spire Barrage, which is also a sorcery, but it can deal damage to creatures or players. All nice. Jaws of Stone, X damage divided you choose amongst creatures and players, where X is the number of mountains you control. Nice. We've got an Armillary Sphere. Holy crap, I'm horrible at English. It's my only language. 2, tap, sack it, search your library for up to 2 basic lands, reveal, put them into hand, shuffle. Yeah, that sounds spunky, doesn't it? But then we also have 2 Wayfarer's Baubles. 1 to play, 2 colors, tap, sack, search your library for a basic land, put into the battlefield, tapped, shuffle. You're like, whoa, hold on. 2 Pilgrim's Eyes. 3 mana for a 1/1 flyer. When it hits the board, search for a basic land, reveal, put it in hand, shuffle. Journeyer's Kite. 2 to play, 3 colors, tap, search your library for a basic land, reveal, put it in hand, shuffle. Yeah! Wow! There's a lot of ways to fish lands out of this deck. I mean, a lot. And that makes me happy. I mean, the Koth deck overall, though, it's hard to play the Koth deck wrong. It takes talent to play this deck wrong, because it's so simple. I play creatures, I bash face. What more and less is there to say than that? Nothing, that's what. Of the 2, I love the Koth concept more. I'm sorry, I love the Venser concept more, but the Koth, I think, is a better execution overall. In actual play, I think the Koth deck really does have an edge. It's much more aggressive. The Venser deck has a lot of fun, happy tricks to it, but I'm not sure if it's enough. Like I said, this is one of those times. Other people have said, well, I've only got a few seconds left, so I'll just wrap this up. Be good, fellas. Stay safe. Comments are welcome. Laters.